All right, ready to dive into some philosophy? We're tackling Hegel today.
Now don't scare them off yet.
Right. We're here to make it click. Those dense, fascinating ideas you sent. No jargon overload, just aha moment.
We get it. Hegel's a thinker, even for, seasoned thinkers.
Sure.
Not exactly a beach read,
Yeah.
his work, but the payoff is worth it.
It's like cracking a code, see the world differently, and it's mind-blowing.
Exactly. A framework for understanding how change happens, not just in the history books, but in our everyday lives.
Which is why we have to start with Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, late 1700s, Germany. This guy, a philosophical rock star.
Shook things up. Gave us the dialectical method, the absolute. Ideas that, well, echoed through history, influenced tons of thinkers.
Dialectical method. Sounds intimidating. Can we break that down?
Absolutely. Picture, instead of arguments, a dance-off. But between ideas,
I'm listening.
you have a concept, the thesis, and its opposite, the antithesis. They clash, they challenge, they push. And guess what? Out of that struggle, a new idea pops up, the synthesis.
So it's not about one side, like, winning.
Not at all. The synthesis becomes the new thesis, setting the stage for another clash, another resolution, and so on. It's constant evolution.
So instead of a straight line, it's like a dance, a back and forth.
Exactly. And it's not just for ideas. It's happening in history, in our lives, in everything.
Wait, this dialectical method is, like, woven into reality itself? It's wild.
And it's all moving towards something Hegel calls the absolute, the ultimate reality, the grand finale, if you will. History on a journey, always unfolding.
Okay, mind officially blown. Reality's a dance floor, history has a destination. And this is just the beginning. All right, so we've set the stage, but let's get into it. What are some of the specifics that make this, come to life?
Get ready, because we're diving into one of Hegel's most famous, most misunderstood concepts, the master-slave dialectic.
Oh, yeah, that one always felt a little, I don't know.
It's not about actual slavery, thankfully. It's an analogy, really. A way to understand how we crave recognition and how that shapes us, our identities, in some pretty weird ways.
Okay, so less about chains and more about what exactly? Give me an example.
Imagine two people, right? Each aware of themselves. They clash. Each wants to be dominant. The one on top recognized. One becomes the master, the other the slave. But here's the thing. The master becomes dependent on the slave for that recognition, that validation.
Wow. So even the winner needs something from the other person.
Exactly. And think about it. This is everywhere, even today. Like social media, the constant likes, validation, the struggle for influence. It's all an echo of this Hegelian struggle.
That's such a good point. It's like we're all stuck in this dance trying to get each other to notice us. Oh, okay, Hegel, you've got me hooked. What else is there?
Well, how about this? The owl of Minerva, a metaphor Hegel uses. It's about wisdom, understanding, and it all comes down to timing.
All right, hit me with it. What's so special about this owl?
Picture this. The owl, right, symbol of wisdom. It only takes flight at dusk. For Hegel, this means real understanding. That true aha moment only hits you after everything has already happened.
So we only make sense of things looking back. That's a tough one.
Think of it this way. In the thick of it, hard to see the bigger picture. Remember that career change you went through? Probably felt messy at the time. But looking back, you connect the dots.
Okay, that's a really good point. You only appreciate the journey once you're at the destination.
Exactly. The Owl of Minerva reminds us. We're always learning, always growing, refining how we see things as we get more information.
This is pretty mind-blowing stuff, but how do we use this in our lives?
It is a big question, and a good one, to be honest. We can all benefit from figuring that out. How do we take this stuff and actually use it?
So how do we apply Hegel in the real world?
It's about perspective, really. Seeing things through this Hegelian lens. Like imagine Hegel on social media.
Oh, man. The tweets just experienced the most profound contradiction in my mentions synthesis pending.
Right. But really, it's insightful. He was all about progress, but through conflict. And we've got no shortage of that today.
Every time I check the news, it's like a new dialectic is, playing out.
Exactly. And Hegel might not have the answers. He wasn't big on simple solutions, but it's a framework to see these clashes not as the end, but part of something bigger. Growth, change.
Instead of getting stuck in it, we see the potential. That's kind of hopeful when you put it that way.
It is. It's more relevant now than ever. Think about the big debates we're having. Right now, social, political, tech, all through this lens. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis.
It's like he's giving us a toolkit,
Yeah.
a way to make sense of things.
And his impact goes way beyond just like abstract philosophy. Think about Karl Marx. Huge impact on how we see class, power, even if you didn't agree with everything Hegel said.
So agree or not, Hegel changed how we see the world, like a philosophical fingerprint on everything after him.
Absolutely. He makes you think,
Yeah.
challenges you to question things, to be okay with how complex everything is. Hegel's not about easy answers.
And that's something we could all use a little more of. This deep dive, it's given me a new way to look at Hegel, even if it took some, brain power to get there.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Always more to discover, more connections. The journey doesn't really end.
So, to everyone listening, what if you took these ideas and applied them to your own life, career, even relationships? What if it was all this dynamic process, always changing? How would that change why you see things? Something to think about. And with that, we're wrapping up our deep dive into the mind-bending world of Hegel. Until next time, keep those dialectics flowing.